Well, here we are, kind of late into October. I don't know what day it is, but we finally got a forecast for frost. So this coming Monday, the temperatures are going to drop to 31 degrees overnight, and that will be the end of most of our dahlia crop. We do have in one line of sprinklers, and that by running water over the dahlias while it's frosty, that will protect them down into the high 20s. So we are going to hang on to a few plants just to finish up late season weddings, but most of this field will be gone. So I just finished labeling and roguing the field. I've been working on it for a few weeks, just a little bit at a time, just making sure that there are no misfits in the varieties, so I've got like 4 beds of Sonic Bloom over there, and then there was 1 Cornell Bronze plant in there. Kind of a big deal, actually. I take it really seriously because when you divide your tubers up, you can get 5, 6, 7 tubers off of 1 plant, and so if you miss 1 plant in a variety that is not that same variety and you divide them and plant them out again, the next year you have 7 of the wrong plant, and it can get pretty messy pretty fast. We had about 5 years ago the mice eat all of the labels off of our dahlia tuber crates, and we ended up having to plant out a huge beautiful but messy rainbow in the field, and it's taken me all these years to sort that mess out. So I've become quite good at roguing and labeling, and I think that particular mouse mess will finally be sorted out this year. Of course, new things pop up all the time. Our supplier sent us a few varieties that had some mixed up things in it. So there's always a little bit of cleaning up to do. All I do is I just use plastic labeling tape and a good old Sharpie. I write the name of the plant, and I just tie it right onto the base of the plant. Nice and low, because once the frost kills them, we will mow them down in short order and leave about this much of the stem, and I want to make sure that that label stays on there. That's another debacle that's happened to us. I've learned all of these lessons by doing bad things. So anyway, a lot like our major varieties, where I've got like rows and rows of one color, it's mostly very easy. I just walk through, and if there's an oddball, I just pitchfork it out of there. In this section, I'm going to show you my messiest, weediest section, but I really like it. This section I had to label like every plant. This section was all started from cuttings instead of tubers, and one very, very busy spring day, we just like threw them in the ground with no rhyme or reason and no labeling. So I'm sorting that mess out now, which is fine. And then I'll show you some of the other fields that are not quite so messy. We've had a bang up dahlia season. We've been picking for almost 2 months. It's been a very long season for us. We have had almost triple the dahlias that we've ever had. Cultivation went well, and so we'll be back to tuber sales this winter, which we're looking forward to. And yeah, it's a nice way to end the field season. You can see more color blocks in this section. This was a lot easier to rogue. Oh, and there's our sprinklers, our line of sprinklers. So this is the section that started blooming latest, and we're gonna just save this section for not too much longer, but maybe up to November. And then it starts to get kind of messy and sparse over here because we've been cutting so hard off of it, so we are not going to bother saving these. This is one of our older sections. It started blooming, whoop, can you see it all? Pretty early. This actually started blooming in mid-August, which is quite early for us. There was a little bit of a labeling debacle at some point because I had a lot of Cornell and Cornell Bronze mixed up, probably just a crate that somebody left the red off at the end, or the bronze off at the end, or whatever. So I went through and I cut all those down and put red flags next to them so that we can sort that mess out. But anyway, it's been a really pretty field, a nice year. If you've got dahlias in the ground, this is this weekend. Get out there and get the names on those suckers, because once frost comes, you know, a couple hours after that early morning frost, get out early in the morning, because they're beautiful when they're covered with ice that morning. But a few hours later, they will all be brown and gross, and all your varieties will look the same. You won't be able to tell them apart. So get out and label this weekend. So I'm going to load in this evening's little haul, and then I'll take you over to the other side of the farm to show you what is coming up next after dahlias. So now that this epic and seemingly endless, really weird field crop season coming to an end, and so mums are up next. This whole greenhouse is full of mums. There's some hybrids on this side, heirlooms on this side. In the greenhouse next door, there's another 3 or 4 beds of heirloom mums also. So this is a pretty big crop for us. It's about triple what we had last year, and they look like they're coming in really nicely. We're looking forward to them. These are a long time in the making. So with the heirlooms, we dug them all out last fall and overwintered them, took cuttings in the spring, planted them out in June, late May, early June, I don't know. And then, you know, taking care of them, weeding, watering, getting them trellis and everything. So you're waiting for a long time for these guys. And it's working out very well this year that there's a bit of a late frost, and that some of the mums are coming in early, because it looks like we're not going to have a gap in fresh flowers, which is great. So we'll have gotten from, gosh, I think February with tulips all the way through Thanksgiving with mums, with no gap in fresh flowers. Maybe even longer, because we did amaryllis. And speaking of amaryllis, will be coming on the heels of the mums in December. We'll have those. And then later this week, our tulip bulbs, or our first shipment of tulip bulbs, are arriving, about 35,000 bulbs. And we'll be planting those to force in the greenhouse, with another 35 or 40,000 arriving in November. And those will start blooming in February. So we keep on going.